Hello guys, this is Amar Hatti, your CAD CAM teacher. So till now we are into the first unit of your CAD CAM. Okay, so in first unit we are discussed about only the computer graphics. The main objective of studying the first unit is to apply the homogeneous geometrical transformation matrix for different two-dimensional and three-dimensional entities. That is the simple one. Okay. So in your second unit, we are going to study what are geometrical modeling, how we are going to model mathematically the simple analytical and synthetic curves, surfaces and solids. Okay, so the mathematical representation or the mathematical modeling of the simple curves and surfaces. Okay, so before studying the second unit, we must know what are the syllabus of the second unit. So main importantly, the second unit is going to deals with three parts. The first one is wireframe entity, second one is surfaces, and third one is solids. Okay, surfaces or the wireframe entities are simple two-dimensional entities, and surface is also a two-dimensional entity, but it has some area. Okay, area in the sense it is two-dimensional, and solid in the sense it has a volume, a three-dimensional entities. So in the first part, that is curves or wireframe entities, we are going to have the introduction part, the representation of the curves parametrically and non-parametrically, and different types of the curves. We have analytical curves and synthetic curves. Okay, and also we are going to solve the analytical equations of the parametric equation of simple analytical curves and simple synthetic curves, and also we have numericals on the same. And the second part of your second unit is going to deals with the introduction of the surface modeling, geometrical modeling, and what are the different methods of geometrical modeling. And third part is completely deals with solid modeling and what are the different methods of solid modeling. Okay, so I already said CAD CAM is completely deals with the mathematical representation, how we are going to represent mathematically the same things what we are doing in a software. Okay, so here we are going to study the mathematical representation of curves, surfaces and solids, and what are the theoretical interpretation of the same thing. Can we move to the first one, that is introduction of the curve. Introduction to curves. So curves may have a simple structures like line to quite complex like parabola and hyperbolas. So curves are important entities in geometrical modeling of the object. Geometrical modeling of the object, we need curves. So different types of two-dimensional and three-dimensional curve are used as a wireframe entities in wireframe modeling. So this comes in wireframe modeling. So I already said it is a representation or a mathematical representation of wireframe entity, surfaces and solids. So the curves can be mathematically represented by two methods. We need to represent this one, right? So curves can be mathematically represented by two methods. One is non-parametric and second one is parametric. You have to go this one by the meaning of the word parametric representation. What is parametric in the sense? Which has a parameter. A representation of anything will be done by using an independent parameter. Okay, so non-parametric representation in the sense the representation of the object is done by not using an independent parameter. So non-parametric representation, or it is also called as generic representation, the curve is represented as a relationship between x, y and z. So let's say I have a point on a line, I have a point on a curve. I wanted to represent that point by using non-parametric representation. So I'm going to represent that point on a curve by just using the relationship between x, y and z. If I represented that one in this way, that is called as non-parametric representation. Okay, so x, y and z. So any point, any object, anything will be represented by using x, y and z. So the form of the curve by using non-parametric representation is a function of x, y and z. X, y and z. Okay, so that is non-parametric representation. So non-parametric representation is not quite suitable for CAD applications because it has some limitations. So I already said it is a one-to-one relationship between the coordinates x, y and z. So due to this relationship between x, y and z, non-parametric representation cannot be used for representing closed curves like circles and multi-valued curves like ellipses, parabolas and hyperbolas because of one-to-one relationship between x, y and z. Because we cannot, the information what is provided by non-parametric representation just by x, y and z is not enough to represent circles, ellipses, parabola and hyperbola. So these are one of the limitations. And let's say I have a line which is represented in a Cartesian coordinate system. So if the straight line, if I have that straight line is vertical or near vertical, its slope is not, its slope we can define it as a m is infinite or very large value. So such values are quite difficult to handle in computations by using non-parametric representation. So if the slope is infinite or very large, by using non-parametric representation, it is quite difficult to handle for computation. So this is one of the limitations of the non-parametric representation. So to overcome the limitations from the non-parametric representation, we come for the parametric representation. A used parameter to represent any object is called as parametric representation. So here the curve is represented not as the relationship between not only as the relationship between x, y and z, but as a function of independent parameter u. Okay, so independent parameter u. I am using x, y and z also. Along with that, I am using an extra parameter u, which is an independent parameter to define, to represent any point on the body or any object. So this independent parameter u is going to act as a local coordinator for the points on the curve. So I said there in non-parametric representation, any point can be represented by using the function of x comma y comma z. Okay, so here u is an independent parameter which is a local coordinator for the points. So form of the parametric representation for 2D curves will be x equal to f of u, gy equal to g of u and z equal to h of u, where x is a function of u, y is also a function of u and z is also a function of u. Okay, so you must see what are the difference. So parametric is represented by x, y, z, non-parametric represented by x comma y comma z, parametric is represented by x comma y comma z along with the independent parameter. So form of curve is the function of x comma y comma z, and here in parametric x is a function of u, y is also and z is also a function of u. So if you see in the example of the curve, the non-parametric curves has an equation x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1, and parametric curves has x is equal to r cos theta and y equal to r sin theta, where r is the radius of the circle or radius of the curve and theta is the angle of curvature. Okay, angle of curvature. Well, on non-parametric representation, we are using parametric representation. What are the advantages of using parametric representation instead of non-parametric representation? Because it can be easily used for representing closed and multi-valued curves. Well, I said non-parametric representation, we cannot represent much better way the closed and multi-valued curves. but here it is easily used for representing closed and multi-valued curves. And also it is going to replace slopes by tangent vectors. If I am having an infinite slope or a very large slope, I am going to replace that by tangent vector by using parametric representation. And also if I have a partial curves in the sense half circle, half ellipse, half parabola or half hyperbola, so then that type of partial curves, the parametric representation is suitable. Okay, so this parametric representation is more suitable and also attractive for CAD applications. So this is about the mathematical representation of the curves by using non-parametric representation and parametric representation. So next comes is your curves, the introduction of the curves. So there are two types of the curves. One is analytical curves and second one is synthetic curves. So if you go word to word, what is analytical curves? What are analytical curves? So the curves which are defined by the analytical equations are known as analytical curves. If I am representing or defining a curve by using analytical equation, then that type of curve is called as analytical curve. So now question arises, what are analytical equations? How I am going to define you the analytical equations? In analytical equations, we are going to express the equation as a combination of numbers, symbols and variables. So if an equation is a combination of numbers, symbols and variables, then that equation is called as analytical equation. Okay, some of the examples of analytical curves are simple lines, circles, ellipses, parabolas and hyperbolas. So what are the applications of analytical curves? The analytical curves are used for representing simple engineering profiles or engineering entities, and also to represent simple engineering components by we use analytical curves. Okay, so second comes is your synthetic curves. So synthetic is a quite different word, you may not understand it, but I'll tell you the curves which are defined by a set of data points are known as synthetic curves. So if I am defining any curve by using a set of data points, then that curves are called as synthetic curves. How it will be represented? Let's say I have a line which is made up of 4 points. Okay, I have the information of all these 4 points, but I doesn't have any equational value of the line. So if I am representing that line by using set of data points, then that curves are known as synthetic curves. So the synthetic curves are needed when a curve is represented by a collection of data points. So what are the different types of synthetic curves or the example of these curves? We have simple splines and Bezier curves. In splines we are going to have cubic splines, B-spline curves, beta splines and nu splines. You may not know what are these splines, but in next classes you are going to have or know what are the different properties and equation for these splines and Bezier curves. So what are the applications of synthetic curves? Where we are using synthetic curves. So I said simple applications we are using analytical curves, but quite complex structures like car bodies, like airplane wings or propeller blades or any cruise hulls, we are using synthetic curves to design the model. Okay, so this is about analytical curves and synthetic curves. So I said in first part of your second unit we are going to have the analytical equation or the parametric equation of line, circle, ellipse, parabola and hyperbola. Okay, so next part of your first part of your second unit is the parametric equation of the line. So to find out the parametric equation of the line, I must have a line which is represented in a Cartesian coordinate system which has the axes x, y and z. Okay. So you concentrate on the figure and listen to the audio. So let's consider a straight line which has two endpoints. One is P1 and P2. Okay, which has two endpoints P1 and P2. So this is a parametric representation of the line. So I need a parameter, an independent parameter u. Okay, so an independent parameter u to represent the parametric representation of the line. So this parameter u is set such that its values are 0 and 1 at point P1 and P2 respectively. So the parameter u is such that at point P1 the value of u is 0 and it varies till at end, that is P2, and it has the value of 1. It goes from 0 to 1 from P1 to P2. Okay. So for any point P on line P1, P2, for any point wherever you want, you can consider for any point P on line P1, P2, the general value of parameter is u. The general value of parameter is u. Okay. So we need to find out the parametric equation of the line. So you may ask me, you may have a doubt that, well, we are representing a line, but what are those P1 bar, P bar and P2 bar? So P1 bar is actually a positional vector for point P1. Vector in the sense it has a magnitude and direction, and positional vector in the sense it is going to represent the position of the P1 with a magnitude and direction. And P2 has P2 bar and P has P bar. So point P we considered at anywhere on the line, it has a value of the parameter u equal to u. And n cap is a unit vector. Okay. So next comes is the parametric equation of the line in a vector form. So I said it has the positional vectors from point P1, P2 and P, and those are P1 bar, P2 bar and P bar respectively. So we need to find out the parametric equation of any point on the line but in the form of vector. So we need to find out the parametric equation for point P. In a vector in the sense P bar we need to find out. So just look into the diagram. Let me clear you this. As it is written from figure, P1 bar into P divided by U equal to P1 bar into P2 bar divided by 1. What it means? So if you see from the figure, if you go from P1 bar to P bar, the end value of point P is U. So that will be divided by the denominator is U. And if you see P1 positional vector P1 bar and positional vector P2 bar, the end value of U is equal to 1. So P1 bar into P2 bar divided by 1. Or I can write it down like this. So P bar, that is the positional vector of the point P, minus the positional vector of the point P1 divided by U, where U minus 0 equal to 0, U minus 0, or just the end point U, that is equal to the positional vector of the point P2 minus the positional vector of point P1, where the end point value of U is equal to 1. Okay. So P bar minus P1 bar equal to, where this U goes onto that side, U equal to P2 bar minus P1 bar. Okay. But I wanted the parametric equation for any point on the line in a vector form. So P bar equal to, this P1 goes into other side, P1 bar plus U into P2 bar minus P1 bar, where U goes from 0 to 1. The minimum value of U is 0 and maximum is 1. So the parametric equation of any point on the line p bar equal to p1 bar plus u into p2 bar minus p1 bar. If I write it down this parametric equation in a scalar form where p has x comma y comma z, p1 has x1 y1 and z1. So this equal to x equal to x1 plus u into x2 minus x1, the same for y and z. The parameter u goes from 0 to 1. So along with this, we need to find out the tangent vector of the line. The tangent vector of the line. If you see in the equation of the tangent vector of the line P1, P2, we have P dash bar equal to P2 bar minus P1 bar into Y. So, but I wanted to write down it in a scalar form. So P dash has x dash, y dash and z dash. P2 has x2, y2, z2 and P1 has x1, y1. Z1. So x dash equal to x2 minus x1, y dash y2 minus y1, z dash z2 minus z1, where u goes from 0 to 1. Okay. Along with this, we need to find out the unit vector and the length of the line. The length of the line. So here if you see unit vector in the direction of the line. So how you are going to define the unit vector which has n cap? So unit vector is a magnitude of the tangent vector divided by the magnitude of the tangent vector. So tangent vector is p dash bar divided by the magnitude of the tangent vector p dash bar magnitude. Okay. So the tangent vector is p2 bar minus p1 bar, and the magnitude of the p2 bar minus p1 bar will give you the length of the line. The length of the line. So we can write it down in the form of scalar as unit vector n cap equal to x bar divided by L into I plus y bar divided by L into J plus z bar divided by L into K, where I, J, K are the coordinates of the or secondary coordinates of the tangent vector, we can say like this. So here the length of the line, as I said, is a magnitude of p2 bar minus p1 bar will gives you the length of the line, where the magnitude of p2 bar minus p1 bar is the root square of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. So this is the parametric equation of the line and the length of the line equation. So in next video lecture, we are going to solve the numericals on the parametric representation of the line, and also we are going to solve or derive the equation of parametric equation of circle and numericals on the same. Thank you very much.